Hey everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to be starting very soon, so get comfy. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of the Big Picture Pinball Show. All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks y'all so much for joining us tonight. We have some exciting news that James has been dying to reveal. And I'll be the first one to admit I am the one being like, no, we're not ready. No, we're not ready. And James is like, if we're ever going to get there, we have to put it out into the universe. So here we go, unveiling.
It is time. It is time. Okay. Big
Hello,
picture show. News.
See, he's nervous.
Pinball making news. I am nervous. I am a little nervous because we've been working on something now for close to, I would say, 2 years, maybe a little bit more. We are now giving birth to something, and we want to share it with people. And again, we've worked very hard. Yes, we've worked very hard on this, and we think it's really cool. But we now need help from our community to make sure it comes to fruition. So
and to make sure it's good. Too.
It's true.
Right.
We know it's going to be good.
Oh, okay.
But how good and how much the people out there are going to love it. So we want you to love it as well. We love it, but will you love it? So we're a little insecure that we want to make sure that you love it as well. So let's actually figure out what we're talking about. Why is Imoto? So today's program is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be talking about the project the Big Picture Pinball Show was here developed to promote. And let's ask a few questions to Imoto, and we can talk back and forth a little bit. We don't have a guest. We're putting our souls out there for you. So Imoto.
Well, I mean, do we want to say what we're actually talking about?
We're getting there.
Or are we just going to?
We're getting there. Tell Imoto, tell us a little bit about your origin story this time. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what brought you to pinball and how this project came to fruition that we're talking about.
Well, most people in the pinball community know me as my alias, Macho Pinball. Yeah, brother. And James is like, I don't know what that means.
I didn't know that alias. It's one of the many emails I don't have from you.
No, so I got into pinball maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, 2015, whatever that math is. And I've been a gamer my whole life. I grew up hanging out at arcades. My stomping ground arcade was Aladdin's Castle, but back then, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was playing fighting games, dancing games, stuff like that, and never really got into pinball at the time. Shoot forward to 2015, when arcades started making a big comeback. Specifically, I went to Galloping Ghost in 2011 and really realized arcades were making a comeback. But my journey led me to the Museum of Pinball, which a lot of you I met there doing, helping them run the Arcade Expo shows for almost 5 years. And they had the most epic pinball collection ever. And so naturally, when you're surrounded by 600 pinball machines, you start getting curious. and, documenting them and the community. I slowly just kept going down that rabbit hole and watching some of the tournaments that was happening with It Never Drains in Southern California, and seeing these people that I learned to be designers and industry leaders in the pinball world competing with each other, and seeing it on these big screens and watching their flipper skills. It was kind of like, that was my epiphany moment of like, oh wow, pinball isn't just like something that steals your quarters and you play for 5 seconds. There's a lot more to it. So I started asking questions, learning more about like each pinball machine has a story, has, a game progress you're trying to accomplish. And there's so many different facets to it with the art and music and design. Everything y'all already know. I fell in love with it, and then I fell in love with the community even more. So that kept me in the hobby, is just as a documentarian and historian for this community. I just love being a part of it and helping where I can.
So how is the pinball community different than, say, your other community of arcade players for the other games? How is that other gaming community different?
Everyone gets along really well for the most part and are super nice. I feel like in other gaming communities I am in or was in, they are awesome and have great people too, but the competitiveness is a little bit too strong. You have to have really, really thick skin in those communities, especially in the fighting game community. But with the pinball community, it's just everyone comes together when it involves pinball, and then it's the most like eclectic community. You have so many different people from all walks of earth just forgetting where they came from or what they believe in, and can enjoy playing this game together. So stuff like that really kept me in and kept me engaged.
So community, you're really into the community. You're really into the support that you get from the community.
From Brazil.
Tell me a little bit about, I'm going to lead you into some other questions here. Tell us a little bit about,
the chat.
I know. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing when you and I met.
Oh, when was that? 3 years ago? I met you, James, if you recall, at Grand Old Game Room Expo, which is now known as Music City Multicon in Nashville, Tennessee. And I was out there doing one of my Imoto arcade walkthroughs, documenting the shows, trying to convince people to come out and play in public gaming atmosphere, because that's my thing. That's what I love and am passionate about. And you were there shooting a video for Marco Specialties, Marco Pinball, their About Us video. So you were getting some content working with them, and I was there being the rogue that I was at the time. And then y'all invited me to come help and share footage. I was like, I got tons of B-roll of this show and other shows. You want that for your video? I was a huge fan of Marco and everyone that worked there to that point too. So we weren't complete strangers, but you invited me over. We both went and experienced Marco Specialties office and warehouse for the very first time together. And we shot the About Us video, which you can find on our Marco Pinball YouTube page. It turned out really nice. We got to interview Mark Mandeltort, which was amazing. He became a huge influence and mentor on my life for the past 3 years. And I'm so glad we got to do that together. And through that journey, meeting you as a filmmaker who does industrial and corporate work, and myself also as a filmmaker who does industrial and commercial work on the side.
That's where the money is.
Naturally, both of our passions were, we want to make a feature film. And of course, I'm like, I've been dying to make a pinball feature ever since I got in the hobby. And working with you, I saw that there was potentially an opportunity to make that happen. So Ta-da!
So we got it out of you.
Sticking
Yay!
with it.
We got it out of you. Yes, absolutely. I met Imoto. I saw that she was talented. I saw that she had a great smile. I saw that she loved pinball as much as she loved it. I brought her into my little corporate video that I was creating for Marco, trying to document Paul. Talked to me about making a video about Marco Specialties and interviewing his father while it was possible, so that we could document a little bit more about Marco Specialties. But at the same time, it was my understanding that he was kind of shy, and he was, but we did get some really good interviews out of him. And we kept working on some other project. We also did the first skill. What do you call that thing? You're doing it now. It's called PinTech. We did the first PinTech series, teaching how to work on pinball machines. We built the studio, or you built the studio, yeah. And kept going with it. And there's been a lot going on. In the meantime,
we built a studio. Man,
we built this. You built the studio out of parts and pieces.
Yeah, you guys may know him as Kyle Caution, the doppelganger to Jack Danger. Every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we can hang out with Kyle and watch him repair pinball and learn a few tips and tricks.
Which one's taller?
Kyle by 1 inch. So actually, Kyle is the world's tallest pinball streamer, which I should trademark that slogan. That's another.
So that is also good to know. So if people didn't know all that backstory, we have now given it to you. So, Imoto approached me. I had some fairly long conversations on some very long drives with Paul, and he told me a lot about the culture and about what was going on. And I was listening to and watching Imoto as she was engaged in the hobby of pinball. And they pitched to me, hey, James, how about writing a story or a feature? So I sat down and started drafting all kinds of outlines, and it was definitely a collaborative process, I think, in the sculpting of this thing. I sculpted the story, but I didn't know as much about the culture. For me, I was more of, I didn't participate in the culture as much. I loved pinball from the early 80s and 90s, but I was pretty much in a non-pinball zone for a long time. Because there just wasn't machines around, even though I actually sought them out, but there wasn't any where I lived. And that's changed, which is wonderful. But getting to know Imoto and the hobby and the rest of the people at Marco, they walked up and said, hey, can we sculpt a story around this? So we started a project, and I think we have a pretty good narrative to get out there. So the next process here is like, we have that, what's our next phase of this? What are we going to do next? And we want to create a short film, which is what we're pitching today, or what we're going to talk to you about today, is we're creating a short film, which is a scene to kind of give a look and feel about the project, so that we can present it to people and get buy-in from people to hopefully get the project made. But we really need to get the community involved, because we need machines, we need funding, we need help, and so many different levels. But I think we're about there to share it with the world. So do you agree with that, Imoto, Did you get any of that?
Yeah, well, we should tell them a little bit about this story too, because it's kind of funny. James is serious. He sat in a really long car ride, several car rides, with our founders and owners of Marco Specialties, Marco Pinball, and talked to me a lot, and Steve Midget on, you guys all know Steve. And I think with all of our different stories and anecdotes and talking to him about who influenced us in pinball and what we were passionate about, he just started taking notes, and then all of a sudden he was like, okay, I got the greatest coming of age story that kind of involves all these different aspects you guys are talking about. And I just love how that story evolved over time. And we spent a lot of time during our COVID era actually writing this script together. And, we started with, obviously, when you're making a story, just the kind of basic premise, and then just kind of building, and then we're focusing too much on this character. Let's build out the world, and, let's get input from some of our friends on how this world is building. So it's been a fun journey just in the storytelling side. And we want to get it to production at some point. So
please.
Here we are. James is
been 2 years. Please humor me here.
The story, but
no, the story with any story, there is, for me, when I write a story or construct a story, the first thing you have to do is sculpt the story, sculpt your story arcs, and then give it to people to get feedback on, and then listen to them and throw out the good ideas and keep the good ideas. But you need to get a structure out there or something they can react to. So there's a lot of just me sitting in a room, actually for months sitting in a room, plugging out story. And then you feed it to people, you get their feedback, and they go, hey, I don't like that character name. Then you're like, oh, okay. And you go in and you redo all the character names based on whatever that person feels. And that's okay. That's all just part of a process that takes.
That was me.
Now, I
didn't like your character names.
That's fine.
Much better now.
But they're much better now. And I feel the same way, too. As long as I feel it's good, then I am happy and we can move forward
Just say what it is, says Jim.
Yeah. So, say what it is. What, Jim? So, we're called Skillshot Baby. And we have we have the feature film called Skillshot Baby, and then we have a short. And the short is going to be called A Pinball Epiphany. And that's something, the short we're going to be filming in August here locally. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about where we're going to be filming it and what it looks like and how we can get people involved so that we can, see what you guys think.
It's our cool logo. Look at that.
I can't see what's going on. Where is it? Oh. Anyway, I can never tell when I'm on and when I'm not on.
We need visuals, right? We got to make our faces smaller.
You guys are always shifting, and these streaming is weird because I don't know what a preview monitor is and stuff. So it's okay. It's just kind of going with it. So Imoto, and there's there it is. I can see it now. All right.
There's sock monkeys in it.
So we have sock monkeys. It's all about the sock monkeys. Gotta love the sock monkeys. Also, too, if you guys have, we've done some interesting little film tests as well. For those people, we love showing work here. We love to get feedback from people from our work. And you've seen a lot of it that we've posted. But I did a test because this film, we want to present it once we're finished it in our your pinball shows. But we want to give an experience that you could only get at the shows that you wouldn't get on a streaming service if you were to download it. So I decided to do a 3D version of the show, and we're going to show you a sample clip of the show. So if you've got 3D, with your 3D glasses, go grab them, and then come back so we can show our 3D show.
I don't have the ones you send me, but I do have these miniature ones that comes with a little.
That'll work.
Brad Albright postcard. 3D's in. 3D's big.
So we got pinball in 3D.
You guys probably have this from the shows too. Thanks, Brad.
And then at the same time, when we're going to be doing a crowdfunding campaign, and we'll be able to give for premiums in the crowdfunding campaign, and we're going to be giving away, or not just giving away, but in the premiums you can get 3D glasses. So we'll talk a little bit about that too coming up. So we have a little slideshow to keep me on track, and we'll put that stuff together. Do we want to show some work and see the 3D happen in Imoto? Are we ready for that?
So I'd like to gauge everyone in the chat. Do you guys have 3D glasses? Because now would be the good time to grab it. Otherwise, this is going to be a really long preview test if you don't have glasses. It's not
2 minutes. It's not that long.
Okay.
It's not that long.
Atticus Vane. So I think we need to back up though, James, because I think a lot of people in the chat are confused.
Okay.
So
it's a good idea. So
all right, everybody, we have written a feature-length narrative fiction coming-of-age story called Skillshot Baby. And it's, can I tell them a general, brief plot line? Okay.
It's all out there now, so I think we can
Yeah,
share as
so
much as you
it's
like.
this story about this kid who finds, or these group of kids that find pinball and fall in love with it. One's a tinker working on his own custom game. One falls in love with the competitive scene, and that helps her grow as a person too. So everything is about kind of just pinball bringing people together, which is, as you guys know, what I'm most passionate about. So with that being said, to fund this movie, to get funding, we want to shoot a short film version. It's just a scene pulled from the movie that we are going to shoot as beautifully as possible later this summer. And that is what we're going to be launching a Kickstarter campaign for and getting the community involved, because we don't want to spend all the time and work to make this huge narrative feature-length film, so like an hour and a half movie about pinball, without knowing that you guys fully support it and that we are doing the pinball community justice. And, you know, that's the goal. So in this show you guys are watching now, we're talking all about the Skillshot Baby project. And then the short film Kickstarter campaign for that James will be directing. He's a writer, director, producer. I will be shooting. I am also one of the writer, producers, and director of photography, the cinematographer of the project. And then we have another producer, writer in the chat, Jim. And we've been working with a lot of other great pinball industry people, including Marco Pinball, who supports us. And we are very lucky to have their continued support in our passion projects. And so, yeah. Now, moving on to what James is talking about is he wants to make the short film into a 3D piece to showcase at all the pinball shows that we travel to. And we plan on doing some cool underground after parties that surround that too. But now we have a piece we want to show y'all that he took from Midwest Gaming Classic last year when we did the big Godzilla launch. That was one of my most favorite moments in pinball, was displaying that game at Midwest Gaming Classics. We had that giant Godzilla inflatable and 40 pinball machines, 20 of them which were Godzillas. I digress. We have that video queued up for you guys to watch, so if you have 3D glasses, pull them out, and let's head over and watch that. When we come back, we'll talk about the short film and how y'all can help us make this new pinball movie a reality.
Good summary. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, couldn't have asked for better. We should have scripted that.
Like and subscribe. Right. Yay! Thank you, Michael Holiday. And thank you, Lake Erie, and everyone in the chat who's involved and chatting with us. Please feel free to ask as many questions as you want in the chat. Feel free to challenge us. And again, like every Big Picture Pinball show, at the end of the show, we'll do a random drawing giveaway for someone to win some cool swag. I have some Marco and some Skillshot Baby swag to give away. So if you ask a question in the chat, you get put into that giveaway. So let's participate together because it helps us so much. All right, I'm done. All right, let's go to the content screen. That was a good enough preview, right? I don't know where the audio is. And I will say that this is going to be a great thing to see on a giant screen, on a silver screen, James.
Oh, man.
Then Godzilla will be coming at the screen at us. But I love the concept. I think it's great.
Why don't we throw the link into the chat? So if you haven't seen
Captain Metro says the 3D works.
Thanks. It's actually a really cool process. It's done in DaVinci Resolve. It's a lot of fun to make, and I've always been a big advocate of kind of goofy, 3D monster films from the 1940s and 50s. And I've always been a big advocate. I think, too, by everybody experiencing something like this together with their 3D glasses and making it more of a community thing, that it'll bring out some of the community in the film itself. So it's a gimmick, but I like it, and I can do it, and I'm going to create the short that we're going to create in August. We're going to then present that as a 3D piece as well. So we'll have the regular version of it and then a 3D version of it. And then if you buy into a certain tier level of our crowdfunding, you will then get a flash drive with all this data on it, so that your glasses, and it'll be a good presentation, not all pixelated and messed up in the streaming.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you have a link to? Do you have that link to the video on YouTube, and I can put it? So if you guys are interested in actually watching that full piece, we just kind of showed you a few images from it, because I don't want y'all to sit through it if you didn't have 3D glasses. But I'd love to post a link so people could watch it later.
Well, it's also better with audio too. With the full filmic experience would be even better.
It is some pretty epic music in the background. It's like.
Oh yeah, it's definitely got some monstery music in it. It was a fun edit. It was a fun show too.
Jeffrey Long asked, "How do you do the 3D? Are you reveal trade secrets on this show?"
I'll tell. Yes, I tell everybody.
We want to see more 3D pinball movies. So everyone's doing 3D right now. So we're not like super original. I think we just think it's an awesome gimmick that we want to also do. So.
But it's also a community gimmick, I think. So
yeah,
I like the idea that you have to be there. Yeah. You touched on a little bit earlier too. It's done in DaVinci Resolve, and Jeff, if you want to send me, I can. If you have DaVinci, I can show you how to do it. You do it in the color palette inside that program, and there's just a few little tweaks you have to do, and it's a lot of fun. I actually I separate the blue and the greens inside the program, but I also make a traveling mask for the top of it. So stuff actually even steps further out of the screen. So when you're doing your stand-ups, there's one level of 3D in the background, and you're yet another level of 3D on top of it, which does make it look a little bit trippier, which is what my goal is to make it really have certain things pop out. And God knows I'm going to write a scene where somebody's playing with a paddle ball, and I'm going to just cut that into the movie, even though it doesn't mean anything. There'll just be somebody playing with a paddle ball, and that ball will be going like that at you.
Oh, the one with like the string attached to it?
Yeah,
and it's like...
yeah. But then
we'll also have lots of cool 3D pinball shots of
people
gameplay
pointing
with the
at
ball
you. Yes.
Flying at you.
Well, that goes without saying, but we'll just cut it extra special footage in there just to make it more fun.
That would be some good swag.
Yeah. We're thinking swag now. But let me find that link that I sent you just a little bit ago. And we can put that. You should have that in your email, Imoto.
Oh, okay. Is it unlisted?
No, it's up there.
Okay, great. I'll drop that in the link so you guys can watch it.
Okay. One gag out of many. All right, let's keep going with
Stranger Things LE. Yes.
Let's keep chatting a little bit about next steps for the project and where we're going to now. We've got a good script. We're going to do a little presentation. We're going to make a look and feel short, and you get to see some of the major characters and learn why we called it Skill Shot Baby, which will be the reason we picked this scene. It's a fairly attainable goal. We can film it, we think, in a few days and get it out and still use some of our talents. What are you laughing at? I'm going on a roll here. You keep breaking me up.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Pinball122 asked if there was anything subliminal in the movie, like everyone who watches wants to go out and purchase a Stern. That was really
If you
funny.
could pay me, sure. If Stern could fund this thing, I'd be happy to put as many subliminal frames in there as they can get. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So,
it's like a little secret burn. By Stern.
By Stern. Just have it shoot at you for 2 milliseconds.
No, but lots of Easter eggs.
Yeah. Or maybe, there was this one joke, there was one book about subliminal stuff where it was like in ice cubes and they wrote things in ice cubes and you would do close-ups of it. I'd be happy to do that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we can do an ice cube shot.
Yeah. And write Stern inside the ice. Or Marco Specialties. Probably. Most likely Marco Specialties because they've been nice to us. Okay, I was on a roll, then I lost it, but we could do the PowerPoint, and that would probably bring us back to where we need to be. The goal of the entire project, when I was asking questions from Imoto earlier, I was trying to get at community and why she was involved in pinball. And then we kind of went on a tangent, which is fine. And then it kind of got me flustered. But when I was in the car and we were talking about what they wanted to do with a film, the goal was that, from my conversation with Paul Mandeltort, was that pinball needed its hobby was older people, and that he wanted to see young people and women get more involved in the game, and that was really what he wanted me to write a story about. And I like coming of age stories. I like people succeeding. For my story arc, as far as what happens with these people, I want them to succeed, and they start somewhere and they go somewhere. So it was always good to see that. So that was always my effort here, was to make a story that it wasn't just about pinball, but it was about characters overcoming certain things and getting through their lives and coming of age. So pinball does play a big part of it, but we don't want it just to be a totally pinball-centric film. We want it to grow the community of pinball, get more people involved. So there's a lot of music. There's a lot of things that I enjoy, like stop motion animation in it. There is a lot of things that I think that can bring a texture to the film and a vision to the film that you wouldn't see elsewhere, and hopefully to bring more people into it. So, and I think we've got something. I think we got something really good. But we can't do it by ourselves because we do need a community to help us, and we need to get people excited about it so that they want to engage and be a part of the community. Because making a feature film, it's one thing to make a short film, which is even expensive. We can crowdfund that and probably get that short film accomplished without going bankrupt. But the longer film, the feature film, is a business within itself, and we need help and supporters to get that part of the piece coming together. So what are we motioning to? Oh, our Skillshot Baby poster. The poster is very awesome. We used it as part of our treatment plan, which basically describes the project in a very concise way. And the artwork, we didn't have any characters. We didn't have any people involved. All we had was a couple sock monkeys that I own that I wrote into the screenplay. So what we decided to do is to make the sock monkeys a part of a screenplay, and we had an artist out of New York, Paige. What's her Paige's last name? Like I want to say Pumphrey or something.
Yep.
But anyway, a very interesting designer lady who I actually drew some inspiration from as far as some of the characters. But she read it and did a great job and gave us a really cool way to express what the film could be about. Not saying that it would end up being that way, but she kind of interpreted the characters, which
and James is going to hate me for saying this, but if there's any animators out there that want to turn this into like a cartoon, when Paige came out with this graphic, I was like, oh my God, we need to have a pinball show that is an animation, like Scooby-Doo style-y, but it's all around pinball. These would be the characters. So please reach out to us. Side project.
the sock monkeys
Netflix
can like
series?
have Scooby snacks or whatever, and they could solve a mystery and they could pull off the face of at the end. I like that idea. We should go with it. But let's get this other thing that we wrote done first. So anyway, that's that. Let's go on to another slide, if we can do the slides on that side.
Oh, sure. Short film.
So we're using a lot of Paige's artwork to incorporate into a lot of the swag and stuff as we kind of evolve the project. And as we get more content out there, more pieces of media, we'll share that with you. So here's our logo for the short film. We wanted to define the Skillshot feature screenplay to be called something else other than just the short film version of it, the scene of it. We actually wrote that scene too, so that we feel that the scene has an emotional kind of beginning, middle, and end, and you can it'll lead you by watching that scene, which is actually further into the film, that you might like go, hey, I want to see more of this movie. Where can I get more of this film? So we called it a pinball epiphany because it really is. Once you see it, you'll go, I get it, but you gotta have to watch it to check it out. So let's go to a different slide. So that's the short film we're making, the Pinball Epiphany.
You want to go to this side? You want me to go just in order of what you have it as? Or?
I would probably be the easiest way for my brain versus divert to something else and then I get flustered. All right. We have a wonderful location. Oh, where are you going? Let's go back. We have a wonderful go back one, I think.
You want me to go back to the location? Okay.
What was the next slide?
The next slide was 2. We want you to audition.
Okay, that was the original process here. Was that we wanted the pinball community to be involved, and if you're interested in auditioning for this project, we've set up a website which I've made that then you could connect into Calendly and get involved in the project. We need 2 different kinds of assistants. We need you to. We have 3 characters. What?
Okay, yeah. Auditions.
Cool. We have 3 characters that we want to highlight in this project, and they're listed there. We need a young, white, good-looking male guy. We want a black female because we're all about diversity in her mid-30s and 40s, who will be the bartender, and we need an older white pinball aficionado / coin-op guy. We have some leads to things. We have a lot of people signed up for the auditions thus far, but we're always looking. We want to see the best possible group. And I'm thinking from our audience that if there's a young beautiful pinball man, that he should get involved in his mid-20s. So if not, we need to get you signed up. So there is if you go to Skillshot Baby /audition, you can see the shoot dates and the times and how to sign up and what we're looking for. And even if you want to sign up and wave at us, and we'll be there sitting there waiting for you, and we'll walk through you. The other thing that you can get too is if you go to that site, you can also read the script. We have the short script sitting up there. You can check it out, and you can tell us what you think about it. You're more than welcome to give us feedback at any time. We're into it. So do we have another slide? Is that all good, Imoto? You good?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, if we can cast you in this film, that would be great. Joel wants to audition for the white male around 60 years old.
He's not that old.
I'm just
Joel's
kidding.
like...
But yeah, if we don't cast from the pinball community, which we hope to, then of course we'll go through the regular kind of indie casting sites and talk to our casting director friends and stuff. So the right people are playing the role, but it would be extra special if we could just make it, with pinball people.
Well,
some of you out there have acting chops, right? Come on, it won't be that bad. James is a great acting coach and director.
Or if you have young people in your life that you have kids that love pinball, get them involved, involved, have the whole family involved. If you're an old pinball dude, but you got a cool, hip younger person in your life, have them apply.
Yep. All right.
Get the
We
youth
also need
involved.
some crew members.
Okay. Did that pop up?
Some
I don't see it.
roles.
All right. I can't tell
Uh,
when this thing's up.
Yep,
Oh, there
it's
it is.
popping up. But I will say, if if you work in the movie industry, have worked on indie films, and are interested in helping us on this project, please shoot us an email to info@skillshopbaby. Don't feel limited to these 3 roles because, you know, we want to get as many people involved because we're going to need the help. And it would be cool to do it with a bunch of other pinball nerds than just filmmakers.
And then also too, if you have that time and you just want to volunteer, we'll have a place for you. I'm sure we will, because the more people we get involved, I think the better it will be. So, and the less one of our goals is. Imoto and I wear a lot of hats. I'm doing a lot of the design work. I'm doing a lot of the pickup stuff. I'm just the T-shirt that we have on is something that we've been working on. Some more swag. We'll share more of that in a second. But we're wearing a lot of hats, and a lot of those hats we are we learn how to do the project and we do it. But at the same time, we're not necessarily the pro to do that thing. It's just that we have no money and we're just doing it because we have to do it. But we'd like to get a decent crew enough together so that we can focus and do our actual jobs. Imoto is a cinematographer by trade and by
It's funny.
heart.
By trade, I have done all of these roles several times. But I would love to just focus on being the director of photography for once in my indie filmmaking career. I know I feel so spoiled even asking that.
And not have to buy food for the cast.
Please come help production manage.
So we are trying our best to make our best.
I don't have to worry about time.
We're trying to do our best to give it our creative all and not have to be burdened by all the things that we're usually burdened by. So, and the only way you can do that is to reach out and ask for help. So that's what we're doing here. What else we got? We're just slamming through slides because slides are dull.
Oh, we got an 8-year-old? All right. Now you can talk about the beautiful location you found for us, James.
Oh, we finally got to that. All right, great.
I would love Todd Tucky to be in it.
Todd. Well, sure. Audition. We do have a beautiful location. Did that slide come up? Maybe what's wrong with my...
Yeah, I think you're just lagging.
Lagging pretty long, man. I'm always confused by the lag. The Melody Inn is... it used to be an old dance hall, and it's been around for a long time in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is now a punk rock club, and they're very kind and very cool guys. And so they have a live stage. They kind of fit the bill for the entire screenplay. So if we can shoot this short there and then maybe, come back and film the rest of it there, that would be awesome. And there's a lot of scenes that are based in having live music. And so this would be the great venue for that. So we have a window where we can get in there and shoot for a few days if all goes well. And we don't have to do a lot of set dressing because it's already looking cool. We have cool neon. We have cool sights. The only thing that they are lacking is a pinball machine, which has become a difficult thing to get as is. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that stress, but we'll go into it. There's always something. But getting the rights to the pinball machine I want was going to be expensive. So we'll keep working on that. So what else do we got going?
Then it just goes to the Kickstarter campaigns.
All right. Why are we going with Kickstarter, and what's the purpose of our Kickstarter? First off, before we we'll talk a little bit about, I want to tell you a little bit about the Carmel Film Forum and when we're going to debut this, but we'll wait, I guess, until the end of that. When half of the getting the word out about the project, we were trying to figure out which streaming service to commit to, be it be it a Kickstarter or there's Indiegogo. There's a couple different services. Kickstarter is just Imoto has the impression that it's going to be it's going to be a good the best possible awareness will be coming through Kickstarter. Is that the way to phrase it, Imoto?
Yes. Kickstarter has the widest reach to convince more people to fall in love with pinball and support the project and really just learn about what we're doing.
So in any good Kickstarter campaign, you donate money to a project, but we want to return cool stuff at the same time to both promote the project, but as well as reward those people who have made that donation. So we have a couple ideas that we want to share with the community here right now. You can then feed back to us through the chatting, and you guys could tell us if you like these ideas or not. Most Kickstarters are done with tiers, and different levels of donation. When I support a project like this particular pinball project, I would think this was cool, and I would throw $20 at it and not get anything really in return, but just be happy if it did succeed. Then at the same time, as we kind of creep up our tiers, we are going to then be able to give more things away, because with that funding that we get from that tiers, we're going to produce cool stuff and then give it back to you as we get that funding in. So hopefully it'll evolve. Do we have the next screen up? I have no idea what's going on with the screens. You might be the best to take it from here, Imoto, because I can't see what's going on, and I'm just confused anymore.
Okay.
I can babble about stuff.
So yeah, we have tons of different tiers, y'all, that we're gonna be doing, and as soon as we launch that campaign, we're planning on launching on July 16th during Southern Fried Gaming Expo. That's our goal. And we have all sorts of tiers where you will be able to get access to the digital screener, to get some cool swag like enamel pins, and we're making an awesome token that you will then be able to use to get into our secret underground parties, pinball parties we're going to be launching at shows. And with Kickstarter, you guys know the higher you get, the more kind of stuff you get with it. So when we get to some of the higher tiers, there's t-shirts and back glasses and content placed on a really cool USB stick that looks like a flipper. And it leads up to also you getting access to James's Carmel Film Forum event, where we're going to be doing a full reading of the script with actors. So you'll get access into that and other cool behind the scenes stuff with the short and feature. So remember, this Kickstarter campaign is to help fund the short film that we're working on. And that's just the stepping blocks to the eventual feature that we would love to create. Did you want to talk more about the Carmel Film Forum? Sorry, I always say caramel because I think of candy.
Well, there's a couple cool things that you glazed over, but I do want to talk about what the Carmel Film Forum is and what we're going to be doing this particular Carmel Film Forum.
There is a script. We have a feature-length script that will be shown here. So.
Yeah, no, we to test out our material. One of the things that we do behind the scenes, which we want to share with you, the pinball community, is that we have actors play each role, and we have a table read. And so that table read tells us a lot of things, if dialogue's working, what's going on. So we will cast the entire film. Our short film has 3 people in it. The cast will probably has like, I guess 18 people or something like that in it. It has quite a few more people in it. So we'll have an entire table read dedicated to that. The Carmel Film Forum is a project that I've been doing for the past, I I've been doing for I think this might be the 6th year. I get a grant from my city, which is called Carmel, in Carmel, Indiana. And it's an arts grant. And every year I teach filmmaking. And by teaching filmmaking, we do all kinds of different stuff. We've had live events and we've done script work. We've done teach stop motion animation. We've taught how in COVID we went viral or virtual here again, and we started to we were teaching how to do documentary films. I have professionals come in from the community who have had that experience and then share that with the community. So it's a really cool project, and we have a lot of support from a very cool location. So we're going to be going back to a live presentation again, and it's going to be a 2-night event. Imoto, the first day will be teaching about narrative script writing and storytelling and world building in regard to both gaming and to filmmaking. And then Imoto's going to do her documentary that she's been working on about Project Pinball. So she's going to get out there and do her Project Pinball project. So the following day, we are going to then stream the table read with all these different actors. We're going to show our short as well as our little 3D presentation. So there's a lot going on, and I think it's going to be really exciting. And I was able to leverage that grant to then put on this event and then use all this pinball stuff that we've been working on for the past 2 years to finally get it out and give us a goal to finally get this out into the world. And then hopefully people will be excited by our presentation and go, that is so cool. I am an angel funder, and I want to come in and help you guys out. Because there's a little secret about filmmaking is that, and I hate to say it, but the old books out there that teach you how to filmmake and how to find those funds aren't really true anymore. So you need to be clever. You need to get out there. People don't necessarily want to, if they have a project, if you walk in and say to a film company, hey, I've got this project that's really cool. Well, they already have stuff that's been in the work for the past 2 years. They're not all that interested. They might take the project. It might go into development hell for another couple of years, but it'll never get made. So these little indie films really need the community. We have more creativity, plus individuals like myself and Imoto who want to be doing grander things with bigger ideas or bigger ideas than industrial films. We want to stretch our muscles, and we want to do the big projects. I've been directing for years and have never had the opportunity to do a feature because it's so expensive. So we need your support to keep it affordable and get those ideas out there and embrace the world. So hopefully that's my little banter, and we'll go on to, but the Film Forum's a great opportunity and a great place. We're also going to be doing it at the renovated Carmel Library, where they have a digital media lab. It's this huge space, and they'll also get the word out. So everybody in the Midwest community will be embraced and know about it. But we want this to go further than the Midwest. We want it to break out and go elsewhere. So
can I just take a moment and give you some kudos real quick? So James does this Carmel Film Forum every year for like the past decade. And since we've roped him into this pinball community and world, he's now structured his entire grant that he spends a whole year preparing for and packed it with all pinball stuff. So thank you, James, because I feel like this community would, a lot of people that are going to come to that are local and are going to give that age old, like, oh, pinball is still around? Oh, they make new pinball machines? So you're opening up, our hobby to a whole new group of people, which may inspire them and fall in love and be our next best friends. So thank you for doing that, because, I mean, that's a big deal. You like never think of it as such a big deal, but it is this. It's all about filmmaking, but instead of talking about the bajillion other things you can cover in a filmmaking convention, an event, you focused every one of your seminars and panels and events around pinball. So thank you.
Well, good theming, and thank you for yeah. I just think it's gonna be fun. I could do whatever I want. I just think this is gonna be yeah, hell yeah. No, I've been into it now. You got me. I'm pretty damn dedicated now. So
and I thought when you were talking to, I have one more thought that we should create a visual graph to show all the pinball movies, not documentaries, All Hell Special When Lit and Wizard Mode and stuff like that, but actual pinball stories that exist in the movie world. And it'd be like The Who,
well,
right?
And the Who's movie, about like heroin and
that
overdosing
weird
and
Brooke
stuff.
Shields movie that should potentially be banned for inappropriate things. And then Pinball Summer, which like, besides the awesome biopic that the Meredith brothers are making of Roger Sharp,
Roger's actually been really.
We have nothing.
Roger's been really nice to us too. Roger likes this idea, and I hope that he'll come out as an advocate and share his opinions. But he's given us a nice critique.
You can't even have a pinball movie-thon because there's no pinball movies. But yeah,
that's true. Well, and it's amazing too. I have to give you kudos for the Carmel for our Big Picture Pinball Show, because the Big Picture Pinball Show was always about the big picture. It was always about making this movie, but we discovered a lot of movie generated content from our community that I didn't know existed, and I was amazed we had so many shows that we did. We're in our second season now, and it was amazing how many people we could interview and talk to. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good project. I liked the show. So that's the Carmel Film Forum. Do we have any other slides or any other thoughts? And that PowerPointy thing.
Yes, I think there's one more slide. Sorry, in the chat that
Well, let's see how people feel about our thesis. Then let's actually hear what they have to say.
Yeah, we had when I was talking about the pinball movies, Matt Talley put The Outlanes, which I've never heard of, and it's this awesome looking short film that we should definitely contact these people this week and get them on a show and screen this film. It's like
we have Cowboys. More pinball content. Outlanes.
It's a short film, though. Again, there's lots of really cool short films, and we can attest to that because this is our second season showing off as much pinball content as we can find. We just watched some of Pinball Donut Girl last episode, and we've watched
God did a great
so
job.
many
that
great
was a good film.
content. Yeah. You starred in it? Oh my god, I have to watch this movie. This is great. Okay. We'll talk to y'all after the show to get that next show all scheduled because that's really cool. Popcorn Landfill, obviously, Boys Night Out.
Boys Night Out?
Yep. Let me go back to the slide. Okay, I think there was one more, or a couple more slides. Here you go.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, this is your investor screen.
Okay. Let's see what this says here. Now, doing a project that is grander in scale and scope. Our good friend Jim Mitchell, which is another one of our producers, has some legal background, so we can't actually ask for money, I guess, unless. So we can't actually go off in this project and solicit for funds, and just by saying that alone is probably bad enough. But if you are interested or know anybody who is interested in helping us get the feature film happening, have them talk to us. We really need that big fish, that angel investor, that person who believes in the project, and we need to get connected with them so that we can reach out with them and then get the right documents and paperwork to them so that they understand what the risk is in doing this project and what the rewards are going to be. But Imoto and I come from I would say, humble backgrounds. we don't have those connections like a lot of people do. When you hear about that 20-something guy that makes this feature and he's a big hit, well, the story behind that is that guy's got some connections somewhere, either in the industry or if he's funded his own film, he's got some bankroll from somewhere that gives him that opportunity.
We have no bankroll.
We don't.
A pocket full of quarters, and it's not enough for a movie.
So that is actually the scary part about
this. That's the hard part.
We can write wonderful things. We can have beautiful ideas and hope for the community, but without the community support, it'll never be. So, and maybe people just don't love pinball enough to actually support us.
You trying to do some reverse psychology on us?
Oh, I'm trying. My mom was better at it than I was. All right. So anyway, if you can read that little typeface up there. The other thing too, if you feel like for the next part of the summer, we're going to be invested in this project. If you hear about it, share the ideas. If you see Imoto at a convention, she is like insanely busy running around, and she's at going on 11, running around doing what she needs to do to get the show going. But slip her a business card and say, hey, I'm interested in doing stuff. She's the face of this project. You see her all the time at the shows. I come in and make a couple little films here and there, but that's all I do. If you see Imoto at a show and you feel like there's something you want to talk to her about, sneak her business card so that she can give you her full attention later on in an email or set up a meeting with you and talk to you. And then we can give you the right paperwork so that you get what you need to know as far as what this investment is going to be. I think, it has so much potential that it's going to be huge. And that it's going to be the next, I don't know, Pretty in Pink. I don't know what the hell it's going to be, but I think it's a good story.
In my head, Empire Records, but that's just...
Yeah, Empire Records is a great film, too. Both Imoto and I have a very similar aesthetic when it comes to filmmaking and things that we love. And we love, humor and comedy and quirkiness, and we love good filming and editing. And the best way to do that, as we said about this project on this show many, many times, it's all about seeing it. It's not, I could tell you all about how great we are, but I want to see the film. I want to see the work. You're only as good as a filmmaker as the last thing you've created. So I'm always pushing to create the next thing. I'm always out there. I never let any of the stuff that I've done, it is what it is. And we're on to the next thing, and we keep every day moving forward. So that's how I live my life. And I just think this is an amazing piece. And I really want to see it to come together. And then after this comes together, Imoto and I have more ideas about ghosts that we want to work on. But I think this one has the legs because it's got the community behind it. So, that's what we got. So come talk to Imoto. She's approachable. She's nice. Talk to her.
No, yes, please come talk to me at shows. Especially, I say this all the time, y'all. You see me on here and you see me doing all this pinball stuff, but like deep down inside, like I am an extreme introvert and very, very shy, and I have a hard time approaching people. So when y'all take the initiative to come talk to me and be like, hey, I'm so and so on Twitch or anything, I really appreciate it. And of course, if you are like, hey, tell me more about your movie project, like, let's chat about it. I was just thinking, like, man, all these times where I'd like see people that I really wanted to talk to at shows, and then I was just too scared to. Please come talk to me.
Oh.
Let's be friends.
She's a nice lady. She's got a nice smile. Go talk to her. If you're shy,
my smile's nice.
Well, at the same time too, if you're shy, we want to talk to you too. So don't, we are open. We are transparent.
It's like shy chicken.
Yes, we are here, for the community. So if you feel shy, don't be shy. Come talk to us. Email us. Yeah. We're here. All right.
Don't let your shyness be above my shyness, because then we will stay like this. But really, we want to be like this.
Yes, and I am not shy, so I will happily come talk to you. So I am anything but shy. I just live in Indiana and don't go anywhere.
This is why James is doing the majority of the talking, and I'm sitting here being like, I just want a pinball movie to be made.
Well, at the same time, too, you're doing great. You're doing a great job summarizing all of my blanter. So I'll just cut out all the good stuff and then play that on an email. All right, let's go. Okay, SSB, promotional support us.
Oh, yeah, this is the cool thing that I was supposed to do at Golden State Pinball Festival, and then I absolutely could not do it because I just didn't have the time to in the chaos.
But it could work out, and we can still do this little project.
But now it's time.
But now it's time because you've gone public with the whole project, so you can no longer be shy about this
moment.
Okay, Jim, our good third producer on this project, who is in the chat, at least who has been in the chat, I don't know if he's there anymore, came up with this wonderful idea. Came up with this wonderful idea of showing your support for us in a kind of a clever way. And the idea here is that if you get a high score, but it's not your highest score on the game, because obviously you would want to keep your highest score in the game, that you could put in for us SSB into the machine, okay, to the pinball game. Take a selfie of it and send it to us, and then we'll make we'll give a shout out to the Big Picture Pinball shows as well as our streaming shows, and that SSB will be up there, and more people will see SSB on the games and learn more about the program and getting involved. So that was kind of a cool thing that I think it's a great little no money kind of way to promote the project and get some viral excitement about it. And we'll see that you're involved and you want to be presented. So Joel, this is what you got to do: erase the high scores on your game, Boys Night Out, and put up SSB for us and shoot a picture, and you can be our first one.
Oh yeah, Joel, you can be a winner.
Joel, you could be a winner, and we could be best friends at that point, and I will laugh at your silly jokes. So, it's good.
Because they're actually funny, not because he's
yes, they are good. I liked this movie a lot. I don't understand why he doesn't feel like I liked this movie. I thought it was wonderful. All right.
No, it wasn't about the movie. It's about him as a person.
So what's the sock monkeys are all about, Imoto? Tell us about sock monkeys. Why do we have sock monkeys in our movie? Do sock monkeys play
I feel
pinball?
like I'm being quizzed right now.
You wrote the thing with me. Come on.
I mean, they represent lots of things in the movie that we can't really reveal, but they are magical. They come to life. Yes, there is magic in our movie, because how do you have a pinball movie without a little magic, right? So there is lots of suspending your disbelief, and they are the leaders of that world. They play a really significant role. I mean, I don't want to reveal it.
They do play a significant role, and they're going to come to life, which is even the cooler thing about it. So the sock monkeys, I actually took the sock monkey from my.
They actually are alive.
Yes, they actually are alive, and actually they were here. They've come to see it.
You got him by its head.
Painful. No. My wife had a vintage sock monkey collection, and we quite literally have trash bags full of sock monkeys, because one day she decided that they had filled up her room and that she was over it, and she gave up the sock monkeys. But we have two sock monkeys that she actually had, one she had made and one that was her first sock monkey. And I decided there's a really cool filmmaker out there named Robert Rodriguez, and he plays an inspiration to a lot of filmmakers. And he has for his first few films, when he didn't have a budget, he was like, use what you have and just make a movie, just do it. So everybody embraces that idea of he had a turtle, a guitar case, and a little town or whatever. And for that, and then he took those ideas and made El Mariachi, I think was the movie that he made out of that. So, but he's just like, I got a car, so we said, okay, we got a pinball machine, we got some sock monkeys. So that's actually how a lot of the pieces wrote. We wrote all those things down, and then we started pulling those all together into the narrative, and then reworking that narrative and reworking the narrative. We've had actors table reads where we had professional actors out of LA read it and give us their feedback, and we've just honed it and honed it and honed it for 2 years. And I've gotten to a point where I think it's gotten really, really good. And now, people make suggestions. I'm like, okay, but that doesn't make sense. That you're just veering off from the things that we've already honed here. So I call it project creep, when people want to put their ideas into a project when it's like, you really don't have any idea what we're trying to do. You didn't read into it. You read your thoughts into it. So we've done our best to try to keep our course straight. We try to keep our vision straight, and that is my job as the director, is to keep that vision and then use other people's resources and skill sets to create this thing. So that is the goal, is to use those things to get this narrative alive and bring it to everybody. So I'm still interested in hearing people's feedback. Again, just because I hear it doesn't mean that it will be used, but at the same time, if it's a really cool idea, I might be like, oh, that's a really excellent idea. I guess we need to fix that. So that is how your feedback works. So the other thing too is I think Imoto didn't really touch on the token idea. We're going to make Skillshot Baby tokens. So when people contribute to our crowdfunding campaign, you're going to get a token. That little token, we have worked so hard to get this token a hole in it. It's very hard to get a token with a hole in it, apparently. I don't know why. But change and currency used to have tokens because people didn't have wallets, and that I guess you would loop a string or something and carry that wealth around your neck. So I took that idea into the screenplay. It's worked through the whole thing. And so we wanted to make tokens for everybody and either use them as a kind of a key to get you access into after hours parties at conventions so you can see our work, kind of a velvet rope kind of concept. Or so if you have the token, you can get in. If not, you'll have to wait till the party's over. Or as a way to augment yourself, because we'll also have jewelry made of it. So we'll be able to give away.
It's going to be your new good luck charm.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be cool. And it's two-sided. So we're going to cast it and everything, and it's going to be neat. But we need those crowdfunding campaign money so that we actually follow it through. So we've got bids, and we're ready to rock it. Anybody know of anybody who makes currency? That would be helpful. Even though I guess tokens can't be the same size as quarters. So apparently not.
Right.
Because it's actual currency. Didn't you get busted for making currency? Brought it in or something? What was that all about, Imoto? Didn't you have something made?
You guys all know the Marco keychain that I made. That we bring to shows that I'm sure a lot of you have. Apparently in Pinball We Trust quarter graphic is way too similar to the actual quarter. So when we got them made overseas and imported them, I got charged a very, very, very hefty tariff for bringing in currency instead of keychains.
Wow.
It was a fun learning experience.
That's a story.
I guess it's a compliment though, right? I'm sure Marco doesn't feel it as a compliment, but
that kept you around. It wasn't enough to take you down, so that's probably a good thing. The feds coming into your house and, hey, you
might you might be able to rip off the top part and put it into a pinball machine and it'll work.
Is it actually quarter size?
Yep. No, it's a little bit bigger. I don't know why they did that. It's like not twice as big. That's stupid, but
that's pretty big. Yeah,
it's definitely bigger than a quarter, I got robbed by customs is the story behind the infamous quarter keychain.
So if you see them or have them,
You live and
hold
learn.
them close because they'll be pretty special. They'll be a collector's item. So I think that we covered a lot of bases here. It was all kind of random, which is most of these shows. Hopefully we'll be able to put together some the website will have clearer directions on things, as well as will be Marco Specialties, Marco Pinball now, has been kind enough to help us get the word out about the project and kind of sponsor
Nice
it.
catch.
Marco Pinball has been a big advocate from the project and helped us through COVID and helped with a little bit of funding to get the script put together for us so we could spend quality time on it. So it was very kind of them. We have our animator waiting in the wings, waiting for things to animate, and we have a composer. Oh, do you want to play the Skillshot Baby song?
Oh, the song. This is
We
the
have a
best
song.
part about our entire production so far, y'all.
Well, it's the only thing we've produced. What are you talking
You know,
about?
we should make,
Outside of all the design work.
you know, with all your free time, James, you should make one of those
New idea.
lyric videos with this song.
Sure.
There's like lots of cool typography plugins that you could use with DaVinci, and you just have to type out the lyrics, and then it'll do like all cool slides, and we'll put some cool pinball graphics in the
Why not?
background.
I think we should.
I would
think
love
that could
to
be
do
something.
it, but okay, they want to hear it. All right, let's play it. You're not going to be able to hear it, James. So
It's all right. I saw it being made.
but, okay, they
No,
want to
pretty
hear it. All right, let's play it.
Oh,
Okay, here we go. You're not going to be able to hear it, James.
Nope.
So,
It's all
I
right.
don't
I
hear it.
saw it being made.
But, okay, they want to hear it. All right, let's play it.
Oh.
Belly up to the counter at the arcade.
You just have to pretend like this.
That's what I'm doing. No idea what's going on.
Tokens from the token machine at the arcade. The arcade. How did I win the
That's what I'm doing.
pinball ring? That's the thing. Put in the token and make it sing. Skill shot. Make it hot. Skill shot. Pull back the plunger and let it go. Chromium steel incandescent light show. Looking to the left, flip it to the right. Bit that ball out of sight. Bumper flap, flipper trap, pitching back. Check out that cool cat, got the skill shot tap. Knows where it's at. Skill shot, baby. Check out that cool cat. Skill shot, baby. Knows where it's at. That's the skill shot, baby. Check out high school. Get me some.
You want to play the whole song? Or we could keep talking and this could just be in the background. It's like instrumental.
Let's fade out the song, and it's one of the perks that you'll get if you sign up to the for the.
Or we could keep
Okay,
talking.
here's
Yeah,
the
hear the last
song.
5 seconds. It's like
Let's fade out the song, and you can hear the whole track. You can sign up to the if you like to hear the song. Be a part of our crowdfunding project. So, this is technically what they call a pre-launch, I guess. This is you're supposed to get excited about stuff. At least that's what they told us that we had to do. So
I'm
this is
excited.
a pre-launch. I've been excited for
was
2
that too loud
years.
on the mic?
Uh,
Slap the bass. Yeah, can't you imagine like big animatronic characters playing that? Like the ones they have at Logan Arcade? Big dogs, like good dog, baby. That'll be so much fun. I have so many ideas. No funding for them, but Tons of ideas.
We're trying, Imoto. We're doing our best, and I don't know, it's kind of sloppy, but we're doing our best.
Oh,
so.
Pinball 122 says kind of reminds me of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Compliment.
That's cool.
Thank you.
No, it's going to actually happen at the end of the program. This is going to be the theme song, and we're going to redo it with our cast members at the end and have a big human
you
pinball
can't
machine
reveal
at the
stuff
end.
like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got so
Everyone
much
at
in
the
my
end dies, obviously.
It's true. It's true. Everybody just
We all die.
we nuke
though.
them. Yeah. I think everybody's running for a train pushing pinball machines, and then the train just T-bones them.
There's a bunch of pinball machines on the track,
just
and we
on
have
the
to
train
all
track,
run and
and we-
save them by
Yes.
lifting. But you can't just pull it because it gets stuck on the track. So you have to lift up the back and kind of push it, and then it gets stuck in the
not
gravel.
everybody-
So you need 2 people per one machine. But then there's a Hercules, so you need 4 people.
Ah!
It's a stressful movie. That's part 2. Actually, we did write.
We did
Have sort of write a part 2 for this movie. So that's the sequel. We have a prequel, a pre-written
prequel now.
but the sequel is the Great Train.
We do have an origin story film as well about one of the lead characters, and it actually. So if it does take off, we actually have another project that we'd love to write. So we have another kind of a prequel story that would be kind of more. I guess it might be a little darker, but I'm sure it'll still be funny.
Awesome. Well, James, I think we should do a quick Q&A session where everyone can ask whatever questions they have about this movie we want to make, called Skillshot Baby. Mm-hmm. Drop questions in the chat, and then we will answer them, and then we'll do a giveaway, and get back to work. And then next Big Picture Pinball Show, I promise we are so gonna watch this short film called Outlanes.
Yeah, and then we'll also we want to use these programs to come on and keep people informed as the project is going. I don't know if it'll be every 2 weeks anymore, but we want to show you costuming. There's so many cool pieces of the puzzle that we want to bring you through this whole process and keep you guys involved. We want to make a pinball machine based on this theme, so we're looking into that. There's all kinds of cool stuff that we have in store for this project. And again, it's going to take some time, but we want to bring you on that journey with us and use this as a platform to do that. Well as we keep going, we love to keep bringing people back. If you're making wonderful pinball content, if this kind of work inspires you and you find it cool, let's share your stories here, your documentaries, your podcasts. If you have something to tell, let us know. We'll get it out there to the world to you. So, this is what we got. What do you got, Imoto? What's your next little thought? You want to do some questions?
Yeah. So, Amiga Cami asked, "What era is the film set in?"
This particular film is set in today's. It's contemporary. So, the other film would be set in the 80s. The prequels would be set in the 80s, but this particular film would be modern day film. It's modern day pinball. So, well, and at the same time too, the goal is to get young people in today's society to want to get into this hobby and keep the hobby alive, which is really the ultimate goal of this, is to get more people inspired to play pinball, to be involved in the community, and use this as the vehicle to get the word out about it, because I think it's a great hobby. So
it is. You need to go play more pinball, James.
I am jonesing hard for it, man. This COVID stuff's kept me in the house. I need to get out. Half of our pinball places have closed down too. We've the one that was down the street is gone. So, got to figure it out. My sinking ship sank. Love that place. Anyway, keep going. What else we got? Any other thoughts?
Jay Sargent asked, when will the pinball film be released?
November. The short film will be done in November.
The short film.
November. Yes. As well as the table read. And you can come and hang out and see it online. The first half of the film forum the first half of the film forum will be streamed, but the table read's a little bit more intimate, where it takes a little bit of a different kind of mindset to be in a table read. So people who sign up to a certain level of the premiums can, during the Kickstarter, can get that link. But I think you're going to give your presentation for Project Pinball. Aren't you going to do that one live? Aren't you
Probably
willing to do that?
Yeah.
We can make that a Big Picture Pinball Show thing. But we're going to probably close off the link to the table read to just a few people. We also are going to be using the Zoom as a way to share that. So each individual speaking is on Zoom as well. So there's a lot of Zoom related switching that needs to get done. So it's just best done with a more focused group of people. But if you're into it, we'd love to have you participate, or you could come to Indianapolis and experience it live. Woohoo!
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Come to Indianapolis.
Yeah, James is talking about the short film piece based off of Skillshot Baby, the feature-length film, is what we plan to have released and ready in November. Yes. We are still searching for funding for the huge feature film project, so that has a big, fat, all caps, TBD date for the release. Yeah. But hopefully within this decade.
Yeah.
James is like, oh my God, it better be in...
it better be next year. I want to be filming it next year. So I need humans out there. I need angel funders out there. I need people with expendable income to say hi to us.
Thank you, Cass. We appreciate it.
And if we could get that, that'd be awesome. So, what else we got?
Pinball Grams asks, you have to be an AGA member? What's AGA?
What's AGA?
I looked it up and I don't know.
What's the...
I don't know.
That's not a SAG? Is that what you're thinking about? Like a SAG actor? No, it's a non-union shoot, and if you want to be involved, you don't
American
necessarily
Guild
have
Actors. Oh, you got it right. Yeah, It was SAG. Yeah, they changed their
moniker.
No, you will not have to be involved in any unions to participate. No. Although we will probably open it up to be accessible for SAG actors that do want to come play. We'll make sure that we are SAG signatories. So.
Yeah, you have to sign up for that, and we have to be like a macro budget thing, and there's some things that we need to get adjusted for that. But
you don't have to be, but if you are, we can accommodate for that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well said.
We want
it's
you.
Done. Yes.
Yeah.
So audition. Sign up for an audition through that little link, or go to our website and sign it up. And next weekend we'll hang out with you for 20 minutes, and you can show us what you got and see if you can connect to the characters. So Imoto and I next week on Saturday and Sunday we'll be sitting here from 12 to 6 watching people's work. So seeing how they interpret stuff. Yeah. 20-minute slots.
I'm just kidding. Everyone in the chat, please sign up so I can have very entertaining auditions to watch.
If not, stare at us for 20 minutes.
Do you want to use Boys Night Out in the film? Absolutely. I would love to play Boys Night Out at the bar in the background while like the bartender's doing their things, and then Boys Night Out is like over there playing.
If you can get us the Boys Night Out.
Popcorn Landfill. Joel's like writing on his diary. Imoto did it again. She confused my movie with the pinball machine. Strike 22. We would love Boys Night Out, the actual game, in the background. Maybe not for the short, but for the feature, hell yeah.
Yeah, the short only has one.
But we should play
Popcorn
Landfill in the background somewhere.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely sneak it in. That'll be some of our Easter eggs for you, Joel. We'll take care of it. What's up, dude? Well, yeah. You've been an advocate and you've been watching our shows since the beginning. So
Pinball Gramps, you can be an extra.
Yeah.
If you don't qualify for the main lead roles, which for the short, there's only 3 main characters involved, which is a female bar owner, and a young pinball technician, male, and a OG coin
Old
op.
guy.
Oh yeah,
It's the old guy.
original gangster. Yeah, the cool
The-
savant, the Gandalf to our.
And actually, we
Frodo.
already have a gazillion of those people sign up already. So you got some competition. So get in there and give it your give it your best. If not, please share the audition to any actors or anybody that fits those roles. They don't need to be. They just need.
Sure.
Yeah, they don't. If they look great and they've got a good personality, I can get a good performance out of them. It's a little bit different than theater as far as filmmaking goes. So, and there's not these roles are more internally processed. They're not necessarily, deep emotional scenes. But I think it'll be cool. So, I guess that's
There's no
director.
crazy stunts, which is good.
No, it's just
There's
about
no
pinball.
blood and gore.
No,
because
one location.
My indie filmmaking background was a lot
Brutal.
of low budget horror films, and so there was lots of very dangerous stunts that I would never put people through ever again. We were very stupid, and then lots of sticky blood everywhere.
Didn't you get
This
hurt
has none
on
of
a
that.
shoot? Yeah.
Didn't
you
I
got
get
hurt on a shoot,
burned?
too. I thought you got hurt on a shoot. You thought you fell through a floor or something. Was that one of those shoots?
Yeah, I
something else?
did. I broke my back and my neck and my wrist. I got a nice
That's
little
terrible.
scar.
Maybe you're still
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, you can
It's
see
hard
that
to-
music video on YouTube. But yeah, this will be a very fun and safe project with the world's greatest thing ever, which is pinball. So
I think it's
want
a
to
good.
do it.
It's a good booty piece, and I think if it's shot well, it'll transfer over real well. We're gonna probably pretty much shoot it like a commercial. It's not like two people sitting on a couch. We're gonna do a lot of different shots, a lot of different motion. It's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to getting it storyboarded up and working with Imoto on the shots, because that's the best part about filmmaking. So what else? What other connections do we have to? Anybody else want to say hey? If not, we can give away some stuff and get back to work. What else we got?
Joel asked, where can we see some of your previous works? That's a great question. For me, as a director of photography, I assumed I still pay for it. Imotoharney.info has my demo reel and some other work. I have not updated in forever since I work in pinball full time. I have not updated my filmmaking place. Or you could go to ccpromedia.com to see some of our other corporate work. For the last movie that I worked on, I was actually the production manager and assistant director on. It's called The First Summoning, and it's a horror film based in Arkansas. You haven't even watched The First Summoning yet?
I haven't
Oh,
seen
man.
any
It
of
was
them.
on Netflix for a while. You can download it on Amazon.
You gotta send me something. I'll hit you up on it tomorrow, and I'll get all of them because I need to see them all.
If y'all know me for a while and you see the assistant director's credit on that movie, you will be like, respects. So.
And then you could go to moriartymedia.com and see a ton of my stuff. Plus, if you want to get a bunch of educational stuff, there's curriculum up there. There's all kinds of curriculum up there if you want to download to learn how to do a lot of this stuff. A lot of indie little filmmaking stuff, little documentary stuff. That's all up there. As well as you can see all the work I do with museums and hospitals and streaming other projects and educational stuff. So I've been in corporate education and media content for 30 years, and I'm dying to get a beefy narrative project and really relish the idea. I've got a lot of screenplays, but I want to make some stuff. I'm tired of running around. There's a pretty cool trailer that's pretty cinematographic called Bite, which again was another project like this where he made a short to then promote a larger screenplay, and people really like that, and it did really well in festivals. But I think this market with pinball, that the community is here and everything else, I think it's a good a good shot. Okay, what any other happiness?
Insanity Falls is here. Yay.
Hello, Insanity
said
Falls.
that they missed the entire pitch, but yes, this will be all captured on YouTube. After we finish this live stream, you can rewatch it from the beginning.
Or go to the website. It's all written up there too.
And you can also check out the website. But you should watch the very beginning of
that's so rambly.
This one because I reveal my true identity.
Yeah, well, it's geez, these are terrible filmmaking. All right,
James doesn't even know what I'm talking about, so it's okay.
Yeah, I am best behind the screens twiddling knobs. Put me in front is always difficult for me. So anyway, go ahead, Imoto.
Are you gonna make a cameo in the film like Tarantino?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna show up somewhere. I'll be playing some pinball. I'll show up somewhere. Maybe just a reflection. Not in the short. Probably not in the short, but in the bigger one for sure. So, or maybe I'll walk by a door in the front. I don't know. But I can't be directing if I'm walking through the shot. We'll see. Probably. A lot of Easter eggs, I guarantee.
Yeah, so does anyone else have any questions before we end the stream about Skillshot Baby? We got what role will Kyle be playing? Kyle should audition.
Kyle could easily have been, he was actually a little bit of the inspiration for the pinball guy, and I don't understand why.
I mean, I had someone else in mind that was really the inspiration of the pinball guy, but Kyle is basically that too, sort of. Maybe a mixture of Kyle and... Can I say who the inspiration was for the main character?
Why not? I don't know what's inside your head.
Maybe I shouldn't.
No,
we've had this conversation. You know this. Who the movie was... Who, like, the main character, Jake, is inspired by. Loosely, this is not a biopic about this person, but who came to my mind as we made it. James doesn't remember. Perfect.
I don't remember.
Scott
I could talk
Denisi.
to her. Oh, well, duh. But I don't know Scott. You knew Scott, and you were telling me about this cool guy that made these pinball games. But yeah, no, he was definitely... Again, I only met him once, but I don't know his character to like have put that into the screenplay. So the adaptation is not still there. I'm definitely still learning. But Scott's a really nice guy. He's offered to help us with his game, so we'll see where we go. And I would love to get some of his music into the project as well. It's
not about him at all, by the way. It's just
the inspiration of a really interesting guy making a pinball game. There is a pinball game being made in the film. I guess we spoiled that, but it's okay.
No, that's on the website. Yeah.
Does it? It is about a... Can I just say that it's about... Yeah, I guess it's in there. Why not? If you fell in love with somebody... I don't know what we've revealed and what we haven't revealed anymore. I am an open book. Once we've got the thing copywritten, I was fine to tell anybody about it. I don't care. We used to have to write NDAs and stuff and keep people away from it until we got it all organized and got all the business side set up. It was hard, and now we've got all the business side set up, and we now can freely talk about it, and we can share it now. But for the longest, for 2 years, we couldn't talk about it. So now I'm just brimming full of ideas and wanting to share.
Yeah. So. Insanity Falls is petitioning for Kyle, which I totally understand. And I'll tell you the reason why I personally would not cast Kyle or Mr. Danger, my lovable big brother, in this movie is because they're so freaking tall. And then if you guys saw me and Jack at the Twippies or me and Kyle in real life, it's just like... All right, here's his perfectly framed Jack Danger, and then here's Imoto being like, "Hey guys."
You were standing in a box for a lot of it.
They're actually very difficult to shoot. And also being a very tiny cinematographer, I don't want to have to be on a ladder the entire time. So we are not making a height requirement for anybody, but if you're like over 6'7", like
How tall are those
even
guys?
in the background, it's awkward. Everyone's just staring at that really tall person in the background. We'll put you in. If Todd McAuliffe wants to be in our film, I would be absolutely honored, and we'll put him in. But I promise you, no one's going to be paying attention to the scene. Everyone's going to be looking at Todd in the background, being like, "That dude's tall." So, just
I have one of our actors I was thinking about is really tall. That's a bummer that that's one of our. Oh, anyway.
Were you going to cast a super tall female?
Yeah, I got somebody really super tall I'm going to cast. Yeah. So, but we'll see.
It's hard. Casting's hard. You have to think about a lot of things, and like a lot of really famous actors and rappers. I shot a lot of rappers in Atlanta in my heyday. They're very short. Short. Stand on apple boxes.
Yeah, what are apple boxes in the lingo? Tell us a little bit about in cinematography what an apple box is.
Apple box is a large wooden box that has many applications on a set. A lot of times we stand on them. I stand on them all the time. I make little runways out of them. But you know, they hold up gear. They hold up your coffee. Lots of things. It's just a wooden box. It's a nice wooden box. It has a standard size. It's a little bit shorter than a Marco stool, and there's like 5 sizes of apple boxes. You got the pancake, you got the quarter, the half, the full. That was 4. So you can make multiple different heights. If you guys see me interviewing people at shows when we have the backdrop, you see my apple box set because all those interviews with James did, I'm the same height as everybody I talk to because I'm standing on these little boxes that rise me up because really I'm actually this big, and I am a hard person to shoot as well because I'm so short. Kyle's a hard person to shoot because he's so tall. Put us together.
Which you've been working on now for like a year.
I know, it's so funny. I know. I would love to do a travel show with Jack Danger, and he'd be like a super tall dude, and I'd be super short, and
it'd be your thing. It'd be your shtick. Just be the tall guy and the short person. That would work. That would be what you would know.
We're already doing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But it does make the composition a lot harder to frame. I had to stand on a Marco stool during the Twippies.
Well, I filmed the Twippies, so yeah. You definitely, even on the boxes, you were still shorter. So.
Oh wow! Kale Benner said, "I recently got a new unboxed Deadpool Premium, and the back glass was signed by George Gomez. Was I just lucky, or is there something super special about it?" Both. Congratulations, because George Gomez has the coolest signature in all of pinball, if not in all of most of the world. If you guys have seen his signature, you know.
Is it scribbly or is it very, can you tell what it is?
You can read it perfectly. It's just clean and slick. Has a kind of clean and slick graffiti vibe.
Wow.
I need to come up with more adjectives.
What you need, yeah.
Jay Sargent asked, has there ever been a movie about pinball ever made? Yes, bit. They're not, a few, but not in the past 3 decades as far as a feature film goes, something you would see in the movie theater. Lots of short films, lots of amazing short films. You can watch some of them or learn some of them on the Big Picture Pinball Show, our previous episodes, which you can find all on our Marco Pinball YouTube page.
Yep.
So definitely check those out. They're all in a little playlist. Lots of cool series. Tilt series is awesome. Most beautiful pinball shots ever. And
yeah, Tilt they did a great job. Yeah.
Lots of great documentaries were made, feature length documentaries as well as shorts. but not kind of a narrative coming of age fiction film, at least not since the 80s. Movies that have pinball in it, not about pinball. Now, James will say our movie is not necessarily about pinball, but it really is about pinball.
A lot of pinball in it, even though it doesn't really show up for the first 20 minutes. But hey.
It's the inspiration.
No, it's about. I would think it too. It's more about the culture of pinball and bringing people together with pinball. It's not. It's more about the feeling of pinball, I think, than it is, for at least a feeling for me about pinball. So I think it's. Anyway, yeah. But we'll have a lot of good pinball shots in it. I guarantee it. We got.
Yeah, Pinball really Grams asked, Bart has to be a magician too. Yes.
Yes, but we'll teach.
He is magic.
Yes, he is very magical.
There's lots of magic in this movie.
Definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of dreamy and magic and textural. And
welcome back, Atticus. Just in time for our giveaway soon.
Ask a question, Atticus, so we can get you into the wheel
Atticus
of
has asked a lot of questions.
Okay, so we can be in our. Do we have the wheel set up to spin?
We do. I'm dropping in people's names, so if you ask a question in the chat, you get automatically entered into our random pinball giveaway. We are going to give away some cool Marco pinball swag, and maybe somehow I will throw in this cool Skillshot Baby promotional sticker I got. That's hologram. Ooh, I disappeared.
You disappeared.
It's almost the size of my face.
So we have been sending out cool, getting spec of different things that we can give away for the crowdfunding campaign, and we'll do another more formal video about that. That's a little bit more produced, but it's good to get the feedback. This kinds of projects, the Big Picture Pinball Show kind of live feed stuff is really hard for filmmakers. At least it's really hard for me because it doesn't really have a lot of control. But we can talk to people and hang out with them, so it's we learn a lot. So this is a good thing for us. But hopefully we'll get that information out there. If you can go to the Skillshot Baby website, there's a bunch of information up there. You can download the shirt and read it and see if you like it. Please email us back if you like it and think it's groovy. If you want to read we have the longer piece too. And hopefully it'll inspire you to come by and listen to the table read and get your own copy of the screenplay. All that stuff is a part of the premiums. So no, I love this movie. I love the characters, and I want to see it come. When you fall in love with something, you it's like anything. You want to nurture it and you want to see it come to fruition. And filmmakers are a lot that way. When you create these passion projects, it's what it is. I'm not getting paid. It's all just the passion of getting it out there and getting it into the world, and then everybody else gets paid before I get paid. So but we need to have insurance on a set. We need to pay for location fees. We need to pay, all this stuff, and to do it right. If not, you're just a man with a camera. But when you start building sets, when you start, bringing in stuff, having multiple people on set, you need to feed them, you need to nurture them. It gets expensive. So we're trying to keep the cost down. I have a lot of the technology to pull this off. So does Imoto. We're going to pull our resources, but at the same time, we still need to make sure that some people, we pay for professionals to do the right job so we can get what we want out of it and get it onto the screen and give it to you. So
yeah, and a few questions in the chat. Pinball Gramps. So there's two different projects going on here, which
yes,
confusing. Apologies.
We'll work on
Skillshot Baby is a feature length, so that's like an hour and a half, 2 hour long movie that we are looking for funding for. But what we are going to be launching this month is a Kickstarter campaign to fund making a short film, which is taken from this movie concept, and it's going to be kind of like our overall spec piece of the feel of the entire film, the feature. So that's what we are going to be creating shooting in August and releasing in November for people to watch. That will be around, I'm gonna guess, 5 minutes, 8 minutes max.
Yeah, it's 8 pages. So, and then with credits and stuff, it might be 8 to 9 minutes, maybe. If we get a lot of patrons, we're gonna have to roll more credits. So it makes it a little bit longer. But the actual content's probably 8 minutes long.
It's 20 minutes of credits. That's what I.
It's just 20 minutes of credits of people $5 a pop. Just.
So right now, so the screenplay. So going to the screenplay that you see on skillshopbaby.com/audition, that we are looking for 3 roles for that short film, and then there's a button, James, that you might want to put short on, but it says click here to download the screenplay. That is just the audition scene for that short film, not the feature length movie, which is a 120-page script.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 months of
shooting script, but 100-page, 20-page.
It's going to be a month of filming that.
Script.
This one is a couple days of filming, and then at the same time, the short is if the people do well in the short, we can bring them over to the feature. So hopefully, we'll engage with people that in this project that want to move forward and make the feature. If that makes sense. So. If you're really good and you get the role of Bart in the movie, you could get that role later on, or if our Bart wears out, we can put another Bart in there or whatever. But we need to hear from you. We need to know you exist, and we need to talk to you. So don't be shy. You're talking to shy people, so don't be shy.
Who's more shy? Okay, do you want to do a giveaway? And then...
Yes, very much so.
Go eat dinner?
That's basically what I'm doing.
Do you want the tech to be calm and cool or a dick? Calm and cool. No, we don't want our pinball technician to have an asshole vibe. No. And again, actually, if you guys are interested in auditioning for the lead role, I just revealed a important direction that won't necessarily come out of James's mouth, but since you know Scott Denisi, that's your character influence. So if you've met Scott Denisi in person, then you will know how to play that role.
But that's so I
that's like deep pinball community lore.
But
James was like, what does that mean? How is that even direction? That's why I'm the
bring what you interpret the screenplay to be from your perspective. So if you feel like you're going to bring Dick to it, then bring Dick, and then later on I might say, hey, bring that down a little bit and play it this way. But play it how you interpret it first, so I can see the spectrum. I also, which is kind of dicky on my part too, I actually in the questions asked what kind of tree you will be. So you might get a direction to be that tree. So
that's one of your questions. I'm gonna sign up to audition.
What kind of tree would you be? And then you might have to play it like that tree. So, but what that does as a director, it pulls out how easy you are to work with. And my wife saw that. Wife saw that and said, "Man, that's a real dick move, James." But what I need to see is, do you communicate? Do you work with me well?
What directors look for, in a casting audition, is to see how you take and interpret what they're telling you. So a lot of times, it's not even about if you look the role or if you play what the director imagined this particular character to be. The director wants to see what your range of skill is as an actor. So it as a very simple, and you won't necessarily ever get this, but as a very simple example, it would be like, okay, read these lines as you're so incredibly angry, and then now read them again as like, this is the best day of your life. And they look for how you changed and the arc in your change and everything. So I mean,
Right.
they give like way more complicated things like that, but just as an example.
But we're back there processing,
fun.
knowing the
It's a
entire
fun process.
screenplay and knowing the range that you're gonna have to bring to that screenplay too. So there might be an opportunity later on in the film where you might have to be angry, but we're just using those same words and those same scenes that you've already identified with.
I'm a
So,
shoe tree.
Yeah, I love it. So just, I'm a shrub. Okay, play it as a shrub. I don't know. But it's going to be how well you take direction too. If you ask a lot of questions of me, I will probably not be interested in you. Just saying. If I need you to bring that stuff to me. If you ask a lot of questions like I don't understand this, then I'll be like, oh, okay. So I probably won't be. You'll probably go down you have to do what I ask you to do. You might not know why I'm asking you to do it, but it's really important that you just do what I ask you to do. So that's kind of a little hint too. Just do it, even if it sounds silly. I want you to play it as an amoeba. I want you to play it as amoeba. If you ask me like, why am I playing it as an amoeba? I will say, you're asking me questions. I'm asking you to play it like an amoeba. Play it,
Dude,
like an
I'm about to
amoeba.
walk out of your audition as an actor.
It's in the
I'm
direction
gonna be
books,
like,
man.
You want me to play it as? All right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Then you'll be gone.
I know I
So-
would be. That's why I'm behind the camera, y'all. Just for the record.
The actors need to act.
this.
So, but yeah, there's all
How do
these
you act like
direction.
an amoeba?
You don't.
Oh,
You just do it.
It's a trick question.
Everything's the tree is a trick question. The tree is a trick. The tree
if you asked me to act like a tree, I would be an ant, and I would just start talking really slow and
Perfect.
read the line. So, and then
Love
you
it.
have no idea why I'm doing that.
But you've done it. That's the cool thing about it. You've just done what I've asked
No,
you to do.
I want you to understand the.
No, that you're doing it correctly. You're doing everything correctly. By
Lord of the
by
Rings.
just doing something, you've done something that is outside of your maybe your comfort zone.
As an amoeba.
So, yeah, everybody could do it. It's like there's really no judgment. We just gotta
Yeah,
see
anyone
what
can be
our
a tree.
trees are
You're a
easy.
tree. You're a tree. You're a tree.
You-
Have you
you
ever
might
seen
just-
that
you
Captain
might just
Planet thing?
Stan.
Tree, human, tree. No,
Mm-mm. I haven't. I didn't get to see a lot of Cap. I was a Scooby Doo guy.
it wasn't.
a Captain
It
Planet.
was Don Cheadle actually. Okay, let's do the giveaway so we
Yes.
can give
Wrap
someone
this
some
and go-
cool
go
stuff,
eat.
and then I'm going to also post this
Okay, today's
in
June
the
1st.
chat. So you should all watch this. It's how you should be a tree.
Maybe I shouldn't have told my directing, but yeah, now you all know. So go in there and
No, I think that's great. I
Prove-
think that's
prove
super
me
fun. I
wrong.
didn't read through your questions on the website, and I think it's hilarious.
I've done it that way for years. You just ask questions that are absurd and see how people react. But if they fight you, you know there's going to be a terrible, terrible person to work with. So, oh, you fight me all the time, Imoto, but you're different. You got the good smile.
All right, so Wheel of Names. Let's go. Let's do a raffle.
Beep 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 beep. I don't know when it's spinning. I have
So
no
for
idea when
everyone
it checks
that
over.
asked a question, I dropped you in here.
How many questions did we get?
We got lots of questions.
Good.
It's a nice little wheel. All right. I'm
Yeah,
spinning.
we did real well this week. That's good. That looks cool. That's a good composition.
Pinball Gramps, you're a winner. Aw, you get to be an extra in our short film, and that's what you win. I mean, that would
Plus some
really be awesome if you could.
Plus some swag.
So Pinball Gramps, send me an email to remind me to send you some cool swag. You know it, MarcoTV at marcopinball.com. Thanks for playing, and thanks for hanging out too, and asking really great questions.
Definitely. Thank
Pinball
you very
Gramps,
much.
awesome.
You should definitely I would love
Tree
I would love to
magnet.
see you, and I would love to see you guys and meet you guys. So sign up, and even if you
I'm
want
a
to
phone tree.
make
Press
fun of
one
us,
for
you
my
can
next one.
call us and talk to us. So just sign up, and we'll hang out and chat with you. We've got a lot of slots. So
I'm just reading the chat. Kel Banner says, "You're about as useless as a screen door on a battleship."
bum.
You didn't like it? I thought it was great. And then Insanity Fall says, "I'm a phone tree. Press 1 for my next line."
That would be nice. Very clever. I've never heard that one. That is excellent. Excellent.
Atticus says, "One more spin. Sorry, dude. Send us your audition. We'd love to see it. Even if
Join another. Come to see
no
another
excuses. Send it in."
big pinball show, and we're gonna roll the wheel again in their next show. So as we put together these shows, we have a swag giveaway every show. So
Yep. So speaking of what's next for us, keep a lookout for our Kickstarter campaign to come out. We'll be pushing it on our platforms, including Marco Pinball and everywhere else where you can find pinball stuff. We'll be doing a press release with it and everything so it can get into y'all's hands. Our next Big Picture Pinball Show will be in 2 weeks. This is a bi-monthly show. And hopefully we'll be screening a cool new short film that we learned about tonight from the awesome people from Lynn's Arcade.
Thank you.
And
that's how we learn
what
about
else?
these things.
And we're going to 3 shows. We're going to be at 3 shows this month. My gosh, what a busy month. So, not next week. And the 15th through the 17th of July, we'll be at Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. Hope to see you there. The following week, we will be sending our very own Kim Martinez up and away into Canada for Yegpin. She'll be...
You're not doing the Canada show? I thought you were going to Canada, too. You're not doing Canada?
I am not going to Canada. The Canada show is right in between Southern Fried Gaming Expo and California Extreme. And so I will be at Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. And then the last weekend of July is California Extreme in the Bay Area, Santa Clara, which is both are 2 of my top favorite shows. And Kim will be going up to Yegpin. That's an awesome retro gaming show plus a really large pinball tournament. So you'll see lots of heavy hitters up there. They'll be live streaming with Die Hard Pinball, and then she'll be up there. Kim will be up there doing some cool Marco TV stuff too. I'll be playing support down here in the studio so we can get that content to y'all, since that is going to be a long trek. I think it's like a 16-hour travel day just to get there.
Is that the first Canadian show that you guys, Marco, have done, or have you been to Canada before, or do you know?
No, so Kim will be walking the show. We're not exhibiting there. So we're just going to be doing some Marco TV content and tournament support. Kim is a great tournament commentator. So she'll be commentating on the live stream. And we'll just be doing lots of Marco TV kind of walkthroughs and stuff like that while she's up there and kind of get the lay of the land of Canada. No, we do not exhibit or have any booths outside of the U.S. currently.
Okay,
it would like to do stuff in Canada. Yegpin and Edmonton, it's a haul to get there, so I'm not sure how we would pull that off currently, but it would be cool. It would be cool to do stuff in Australia. There's a lot of great shows there. There's a lot of great shows in Germany and Belgium and France. Plenty of opportunities to go to a pinball show. Not all of them we can go as Marco Pinball, but you know,
it's a worldwide phenomenon, this pinball thing.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
It is.
I am not allowed into Canada anymore after the syrup incident. This is facts. That was a very sticky situation, you know. Those trees. So.
Yes, more maple jokes. Yes.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us and humoring us in the chat. And for being here, present, and honest with us as we embark on this new journey to hopefully bring you guys one day a new pinball movie to watch and put on your DVD shelf. Do people still have DVD shelves? On your VHS shelf.
Let's actually open that up for all those pinball people out there. If we were to offer a signed DVD of it as a collector's thing, in case it goes off, just kidding. If it goes signed by or whoever our stars are on it,
Macho Pin.
Would that be something that you guys would like to collect? Because things go off streaming, they go off all these things. Also, too, I was very inspired because to get content out. I like to collect things, and I don't necessarily always have the ability to, on a streaming service, things disappear. So we actually had a guy 3D print this flash drive for us, and I'm actually going to go out. I'll make a little video about it. I'm actually going to go out and cast this flipper, and then we'll have a hard drive. But what do people collect anymore?
Yes, I think you're talking to a entire community of diehard collectors. I'm pretty sure everyone would want a DVD at some point of the feature, not of the short. We're not doing that. But of the feature.
No. I think the short can go out, and be distributed through other means. But if we have, are there still DVD collectors out there? I like to collect DVDs because a lot of my friends make a film, and I like to have a hard copy of it. I don't want to just check it on streaming, so I always ask for a signed copy of the filmmaker on something tangible.
Signed blood.
Yes, we can't really sign this little flipper. It'd be kind of hard to sign. Maybe Imoto could sign it, like on the back. But I'm actually we couldn't 3D print all these either, so I decided to work with a friend who works in special effects, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna cast all these, and then actually make them individually by hand. But it'd be easier to actually make a mold and cast them and actually bring them to life that way, and then we'll have a little flash drive in here. So this is one of our premiums, and then I think it'll be kind of a cool little thing to collect.
I can't wait to see what the final product will look like.
And then all the information, everything that we've made, all of our artwork, the screenplays, all this will be on this flash drive. And then if you get bored of it, you can just toss it and get rid of the stuff, and you'll have 64 gigabytes of hard drive space to use on other things. You could put your taxes on it if you wanted to. Give it to your tax man. So it says Skillshot Babies engraved.
Nice.
So anyway, another fun project. All right.
Yeah.
We got
Kel
a lot of store.
Said special translite or pinball related item signed would be cool.
What do you guys think of
DVD?
pull rods with artwork on them? Do you guys collect pull rods at all? Some of the Marco guys like the idea of making pull rods, but they're expensive. They're not cheap to make.
Pull rods?
Pull rods, pinball pull rods.
Pull rods? Oh, the shooter rods?
Shooter rods. All right.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
You need pinball.
No.
Pinball translations
you don't wanna
from
put
James.
that in your game.
Or do people collect them? Mitch thought that they were
you
really
can
cool,
get
but they're really expensive.
A specialized shooter rod for like a particular pinball machine to fit that theme, but not just like
people don't collect them as like being
put it
cool.
on your wall. Although we should start collecting. I would collect the Jurassic Park Amber.
Yeah, I mean there's some cool
one.
There's some cool artwork on them, and I actually thought they were cool, but they were just not. They were just expensive to make. You can make them, but they're not cheap. So
you can
nobody
collect
here cares
like the
about that.
old ballet shooter rods that have like the tip, and then like turn them into weapons for the end of times.
And then one of the other things, I'm going with their 3D glasses. That when you subscribe for the 3D glasses, we're going to make a 3D poster that's going to come out. So the bigger the poster is, the cooler 3D is. So we're gonna we're gonna make a 3D poster with the glasses, and then you can get the digital stuff, and you can actually watch the 3D movie as well at home. Or watch it with us during the presentation. You can watch the 3D movie, but one of the premiums was 3D stuff. So you can
poster of this awesome graphic.
But
I
separated
also
so
have
it's
the
in frame.
T-shirt version, which is really cool. Very detailed, direct to garment printing.
Yeah, I think we got
Definitely
some
not
cool
a screen print
premiums.
because there's like 500 different colors.
Yeah. No, I think we got some cool stuff. So we'll get that stuff out to you, and if there's anything that you think that we should make, let us know. Or if there's something that you think is extra cool, or maybe we're charging too much for something. And with every premium too that you get on our project, you get everything beneath that tier as well. So if you get the tiers go up, but then you get everything beneath the tiers. So you get all the posters, the T-shirt, all that stuff when you buy the hard drive. So just to say, it's stacked. But I think I think I need to get back to work. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I'm feeling like I've put a lot of information out, and I hope you can process some of it, and hope that you join us in our journey. It is a journey, a long journey. But find me some angels. I want some angels to help me with my project. Find me an angel. I can legally say that.
We will find them. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us about the movie, and we will see you guys in a few weeks, or join in on Thursday when we do Pintech Live. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be hanging out with Kyle. I think we're still working on Viking. Actually, finished the rectifier board last week, so we're going to be actually finding out why this 110x lamp is really low. For those on Twitch, stick around and let's go raid someone. Show some love to another pinball content creator. Oh man, there's so many good options. Oh no, usually we don't have many options, but now there's a lot. Anyone on? Oh, well, naturally we have to go ahead and raid Lynn's Arcade, because they've been hanging out with us and gave us our idea for the next Big Picture Pinball Show episode, which I'm super excited
Lynn's
about.
Arcade.
So thanks, Matt. You're my hero. Let's I'm gonna set that up. So stick around. Let's all go. Javier he does these awesome pinball tutorials over at Lynn's. He's one of the best pinball coaches I've ever listened to. The way he explains stuff is so great. He has awesome energy. I love it. So I'm actually going to be hanging out in this chat room for a while too, while I decompress. But let's get to the raid button. All right. Kyle's going to be working on that Viking until the end of time. Yeah. Okay.
How long does he work on a pinball machine? Is it till it's done, or is it like this old house where they kind of?
Yes, it's until it's done. Sometimes it takes longer than others, depending on what the project is. Sometimes it's just one and done. We do a flipper rebuild and we're good. But Jojo and Momo. Alright, we're gonna raid now. 7 viewers. Thanks for sticking around. Let's do this. Thanks, y'all. See ya.
Thanks for putting up with me. Bye, guys.
Thank you, James. Goodbye. Oh, we should do the Skillshot Baby song.